Summer fun, right? And in Green Bay, that usually means Bay Beach. The amusement park's set to open 3 weeks from Saturday. It'll be May 6th. But park visitors this year are going to notice some changes, some subtractions, but also some additions in the works. And to learn more, we're joined by Green Bay Parks Director Dan Ditchite. So Dan, let's get the subtractions out of the way first. What's going to be missing this year from the ride menu?
So yeah, this year there's 2 rides that are just not in operation anymore, and we had to decommission them. One is the Tot Chair Plane ride, so that's a ride that we've had for about 15 years or so. And then the second ride, which is more impactful to the park, is the Sea Dragon ride.
And that's been there about 10 years, and it no longer will be in service. But you have additions planned. They may not be ready on the 6th, but what are those going to be?
Sure, we have a lot of exciting things going on in the park upcoming here. So the first ride that will be installed in May and up and running is there's the Bay Beach Hopper ride. So that's a tot hopper ride where you sit on it. I think there's about 8 to 10 people can sit on this ride at one time, and it just goes up and down.
We had a bigger version of one you've had in the past?
Sure, we had one there that was called the Bay Beast.
Yeah.
And that one, we purchased an identical ride, except for it's a little taller.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it won't be themed quite the same as the original ride that we had there, so it won't look quite the same.
Yeah.
But it'll be the same experience and even a little bit more fun because it goes up a little higher.
All right, and then the second ride that's coming in, I saw a video of this on YouTube and from the company. It makes my head spin.
Yeah, so the second ride, which is really an exciting draw to Bay Beach Amusement Park, is called the Nebula Z ride. It's a ride that the city set aside some ARPA dollars, which was the COVID relief funding received from the federal government. And we set aside $800,000 to purchase that ride. So it is a used ride, but it's only a few years old. So the manufacturer is right now going through the ride and refurbishing it. They'll send it to us and we'll have it installed in the park probably sometime in July.
Okay, and the park will be open obviously until September, so a lot of time to enjoy that. Other additions that might be maybe more important than the ride additions themselves, and it's the additions you made to your wage structure this year. We know last year we reported on it, it was difficult to find enough workers. Tell us about the wage structure changes, and has it been effective? Are you to the point where you're way ahead of where you were last year in terms of hiring staff?
Yeah, so it is having a positive effect. So last year we had to actually change our hours because we weren't able to do a shift change. We didn't have enough ride operators to work the beginning of the day and then shift change to the afternoon. So we had to stick with an 8-hour operation last year. This year with the new fee structure, we gave everyone, all employees, around a 25% increase in wages, which is pretty significant.
Yes.
And that's had a dramatic increase in trying to find seasonal staff members, not just at Bay Beach Amusement Park, but in the Parks Department as a whole, because this was an across-the-board change for all seasonal positions. So this year we have significantly more employees locked up and ready to go compared to last year at this time.
Well, that's good news. There's also good news for those employees. If they work certain shifts, there are bonuses available. You guys started that last year, and that money's still there even with the additional hourly wage increase. I want to get back to those ARPA funds in just a second because I know you're using them for something else here. But when you try and hire seasonal workers, how much of a challenge has that been? And did it actually threaten the viability, the long-term viability of the park, given what you went through last year?
Obviously, without staff members, you can't operate the park. And if you, for every
you can't bring in money.
You can't bring in money. So for every ride we have to shut down that we don't have a ride operator for, we lose a significant amount of profit at Bay Beach. Now, Bay Beach doesn't make a lot of money to begin with. Obviously, we pay our bills. We have a little bit left over at the end of the year to reinvest into the park, but it is not a huge money maker for the city of Green Bay. This is a service we're providing. So if we can't open these rides and get the public there to enjoy the rides, that has a big impact to the experience that people have at the park.
So the ARPA money, you're using it with the pavilion, and the goal is to make that kind of a year-round usage. Will that help? First of all, what kind of things would you use that for year-round? And second of all, would that help because now all of a sudden you might be able to bring in some income that in months before you just couldn't do?
Yeah, so about 15, 20 years ago, we did a master plan for Bay Beach Amusement Park. And one of the things that came out of the master plan was there was a desire to turn Bay Beach Amusement Park into a year-round facility, not just a seasonal facility.
Okay.
But all of our buildings, they have no insulation, no heat. They're really not set up for a year-round facility. So we set aside some ARPA dollars to make it a year-round facility. So we're going to be replacing the roof, which is very needed. The asphalt shingles are failing.
Year-round or not.
That needs to be done no matter what. But then secondly, we're doing heating and air conditioning in that building. We can hold events, we can do rentals, people can have a wedding out there. I guess more importantly, in regards to providing heat to make it a year-round facility, we're also going to provide air conditioning. So we don't have any other facilities or any other buildings at Bay Beach Amusement Park where there's air conditioning. So obviously it gets really hot out there when people are out in the sun consistently day in and day out. It's nice to have a little bit of a refuge area where people can cool down and just get away from the heat for a while. So that's something that we've been hearing for years out at Bay Beach is a necessary attraction, and it's something we're trying to provide to the public.
That construction will start in the fall after this season closes and then be ready to go hopefully for the following year. But this will be all ready to go on May 6th. Dan, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.